5 rounds to go in the normal championship of this game. And in terms of the manufacturer standings, well, Hyundai now has almost a 40-point lead over Ford, and I know that's going to get bigger as we go further and further along. Mitsubishi is still third, but Subaru is catching up to Mitsubishi, and Peugeot has now moved up into 5th in the constructors' standings as a result of Marcus Gronholm finishing 2nd in Finland. And I gotta say, it was a pretty tight rally in the end, but I held on to score what was 9 out of 9 for the championship overall. And now let's head over to New Zealand for round 10.
For the WRC teams, who are mainly based in Europe, the Rally of New Zealand means a journey to the other side of the world. When they get there, they find some of the best gravel driving in the entire championship. The surface on the North Island ranges from twisty public roads to fast forest tracks covered with loose debris. It may be a long way, but New Zealand is worth a trip.
And so here we go with Rally New Zealand, and where our first stage is 4.5 kilometers long, and where the weather is dry and we are driving on gravel. So I'm going to keep the setup as it is. I'm not going to change anything. Everything to me seems okay, and well, let's just get on with it. So on now to Rally New Zealand, and where I am really hopeful in saying that this is not going to wind up being another case of me having to score another win in clutch like I did in Portugal. Although there have been some pretty tight margins up to this point in terms of my rally wins. The closest ones I can think of being, well, the likes of Portugal, Argentina, and most recently Finland. Finland, of course, being when I held on to beat Marcus Gronholm in the Peugeot. And yep, I get bogged down on the launch again. Oh well, it's okay. I think I should be okay as long as I don't do that too often. So, off to an okay start, and I managed to get less than a second up on Colin McRae in the Ford Focus. Of course, Evolution at the time did not have the licensing rights to use, and now I have officially flipped over. Well, that sucks. But altogether, I'd say we're doing okay for now. I am no longer doing okay now, as I have fallen Satan's number behind Carlos. Hopefully, if it's possible, I can make up for that mistake, because that's more or less what I've been able to do up to this point. And this stage right now is not going too well, because right now I am all over the place, and it seems like I am continually losing time. Also, shout out to my teammate Kenneth Eriksson, because he's actually running inside the top 3, if you can believe it. I definitely wasn't expecting Kenneth to actually be up there fighting for the lead, and now gained a little time back, and now it looks like I have lost that time again. because I almost flipped the car over again. Fortunately, however, we do have a long way. So, hopefully there will not be... Okay. Now, I am officially dejected. I am well and truly dejected at this point. I hate myself. I actually hate myself. Honestly, just that whole stage in general was just a mess because of how it just started and finished. But you know what? I did get to the end of the stage, and I didn't fall too far back. There's plenty of time for me to make up 14 seconds, because that's often what I tend to do. So, I'm just gonna continue. So, Carlos Sainz wins stage 1 over Colin, Kenneth, Marcus, myself, and Didier. So 2 Hyundais, 2 Peugeots, and 2 Fords in the top 6. And then we've got the 2 Mitsubishis with 3 Subarus and 1 Skoda from P7 to 12. Then we've got the 3rd Hyundai of Piero Liatti, followed by Francois Delacour, Marco Martin, Harry Rovanpera, Gilles Panizzi, and Philippe Bugalski in P19. Then we have the other 2 Citroens and the 2nd Skoda in the bottom 3. So these are your results after stage 1. There is still plenty of time for me to make up, or if this doesn't work out then I'll simply just restart the rally anyway. Okay, on now to stage 2. And I think this time, I think my gears were a little bit too long, so I think I'll go medium instead. And see if that manages to improve my look somewhat. Because I'm pretty sure these are not stages that are decided on speed. I think these are decided more on acceleration. So that's why I chose to go down to the medium gears instead of long. Just to see if that manages to finally tune the car enough to, I guess you could say, work out for me. And hopefully it does.
3, 2, 1.
So here we go. And once again,
50, long left
I have
4.
to bog down on the launch. I can definitely tell when this is becoming a reoccurring theme.
Into very long left 5.
But I think I'll be okay. As long as I can stay on the road
50, very long
and
right
not lose
3.
too much time, I think everything should work out okay.
50, right 4, tighten.
Still, I gotta say, when you go offline here in New Zealand, you do actually lose some
Right
time.
5.
And that's pretty much what's happening again, as I am a second behind Carlos.
50, right 4.
So you've really got to be feeding between the lines
Into left 5.
of these roads if you want to gain time.
50,
You
long
cannot
left
afford
4,
to stray
over
too
crest.
far off,
Caution, over crest.
which is more or less what
Into long
I have
right
done
4.
regularly at this time.
Caution, over crest. Into right 4. Over crest.
But in saying that,
50,
I now managed to
into right
find over a second.
50, left 5.
So I think it's fair to say my adjustment from long gears to medium gears
50, right
is
2.
proving to be the benefactor for
Into
at least
right 3.
this stage, from what I can see.
Into right 4.
and it seems to be working out okay for me at the moment.
50, long, left 4.
And I have now gained even more time, as I am 4 seconds up on Carlos.
Over crest, into left 4, into right 4.
Just have to make sure I keep that one rolling. And don't want to hit those bollards.
Right 5,
And
50, right
I run a little bit too wide there, but that's okay because
long, left 3.
I am still here to duke it out.
150,
And 6.4 seconds is the gap. So it looks like I am gaining time just a little bit at the moment. And I could be on course to gain even more time, as long as I stay on the road.
and right 5, over crest.
Hard on the brakes, and there is the finish. Okay, 6 seconds. Lost a little bit of time in that last sector, but that's okay because I still managed to gain 6 seconds. So that now puts the gap down to, I think, 8 seconds now. Oh, Jordan is what I put in. Whatever. I didn't really sleep very well before recording this, so I just figured I'd do it anyway. I'll be right back. we are back. And the main reason I more or less went AWOL is because interruptions keep happening. Interruptions. They have to be part of my everyday life, unfortunately. So these are the results from stage 2. So, victory by 6.14 seconds over Carlos. Colin McRae 3rd, Kenneth Eriksson 4th, Didier Auriol 5th, and Tommy Mäkinen in 6th. Then, in P7 we had Marcus Grönholm being best of the rest. Then we had 2 Subarus, the other Ford of Francois, the second Mitsubishi, the first Skoda. Then we had the second Skoda, P13, followed by, I think, the third Peugeot, if I'm not mistaken. Then we had Marco Martin in the fourth Subaru, the 3 Citroens, and at the back we had the 4th Subaru, the 4th Peugeot, and the 3rd Hyundai. So these are the results as they now stand. Gap is now virtually 8 seconds to Carlos. Colin is 3rd, Kenneth Eriksson 4th, Didier Auriol 5th, and Marcus Grönholm in 6th. There's P7 to P12, as Francois Delacour moves up 2 spots. And we got a few guys here moving up a few spots. And there is the bottom 3 with 2 Citroens and 1 Peugeot. Okay, on now to Fife. And medium gears, because that is what helped me out before. And let's actually keep the wheels moving. Or rolling, I should say. Nah, moving sounds better. We're not exactly rolling, we're just moving. Anyway, I have gained some time. So let's actually see if we can gain even more time in these next 3 stages. I wouldn't be surprised if this winds up being another rally where I come in clutch.
1, go!
And once again, I get a little bit bogged down off the launch, but
150.
that's okay because I feel like I should be okay with this. And this is a long straightaway. Maybe I should have stuck to the long gears for this stage.
Into right 3. And long left 4.
Oh well. I don't think the stage is going to be too long, so
50,
I don't
right
think
3.
my lack of top speed
100 right
is
3.
really going to affect me all that much.
50 left 4. 50 right 3.
And I overshoot the corner.
Into left 3.
But that's okay, because I still
Right 4.
get the fastest overall time in Sector 1 anyway. So,
50 right 4.
we move on. Here
50
at
long
Fife.
left 2. Into right 3.
And that is definitely a cliff edge.
Into very long right 4.
But that's okay, because I am on point so far to setting
Right 3.
what in essence looks to be
Into long left 4.
a good time.
Into long right 4. Tighten.
Okay, gap is now 5.9 seconds,
Over crest.
and if it stays that way, that'll put me just 2 seconds behind
50
Saints.
left 4. 100
And
long right 3.
it seems as though my medium gears are benefiting me rather well.
50, left 4.
In spite of my lack of top speed in the
Right 2, over crest.
first straightaway, I still managed to come away with
100, right 5.
something impressive,
Into
as I
left 4.
almost overshoot the corner, but I make it through.
50, right 1. Into left 1, over crest. 50, very long,
And
right
now
4.
I have lost some time. Excuse me,
50, left 5.
I really am sorry. It feels like my throat is dying at the moment, or is basically begging for dying at this stage.
Over crest. 50,
I really don't
left
know
3.
why.
50,
Anyway,
long, right 4.
point is, I'm still ahead in the stage,
Very long, left 4.
and I can still gain some time as long as I stay on the road. Okay. I almost went up the dike, but fortunately I managed to stay on the road,
100, left
which is
3.
where I need to be.
Into very
And
long,
I now
right
gain
3,
nearly
right
6 seconds on Carlos, and Colin has now fallen down.
into left 4.
I don't know where he's running now, but he's not running in the top 4 anymore
100, long,
at
right
this
3.
stage of the rally. And at this time, I look to be doing rather well.
100,
Just
left 2.
keeping my car on the road,
50, left 4.
and just a little bit further to go, and then we should be done.
And finish.
And there we go. I win by 5.5 seconds over Carlos. Alrighty. We have one Fife. And now we must move on to stage 4. So, yeah, the autosave does take a few seconds. Anyway. Oh, yeah, I do have one saved from stage 3. You know what? I'll leave it for a little longer. So these are your results from stage 3. So still got 2 Hyundais in the top 4, along with 2 Fords, 1 Subaru, and 1 Peugeot. Completes the top 6. Then Petter Solberg in P7, followed by Tommy Mäkinen, Marcus Gronholm, Freddie Loix, Francois Delacour, and Armin Schwartz in the Skoda. Then Piero Liatti in P13 in the 3rd Hyundai. Then we got the 3 Citroens, followed by the 4th Subaru, I think that is. Then we got the 2nd Skoda, the 3rd Subaru. Then the 4th Subaru, and then we've got the 2 Peugeots at the back. Well, the other 2 Peugeots, I should say. Anyway, 2.43 seconds is now the gap to Carlos. Colin is now a distant 3rd. Kenneth Eriksson a distant 4th. Didier Auriol 5th, and Richard Burns in P6. There's P7 to P12. P13 to P18, as we've got 2 Citroens and 2 Subarus, along with a 3rd Citroen just behind them, and then we've got the 2 Peugeots sandwiching the 2nd Skoda. Now we move on to Campbell, stage 4, and yes, I will need long gears for this one, because this stage is long. I also need some water before we continue the commentary. Okay, I am back, and hopefully my voice will not die too soon this time. Okay, and oh boy, this stage is wet.
3,
I do not like the way this is going to go. And once again, I stall it off the line, so
into long left 3,
it's going to be really interesting to see if I can actually get this pulled off.
right 3,
In the wet, no less.
into left 4,
And if I learned anything from Finland, it's knowing that,
150,
for want of a better for want of a better phrase, the AI are actually faster in wet conditions than the player. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I don't know if I will or won't be the fastest,
3,
because the AI were definitely closer to me
long left 4,
when it came to the fucking wet conditions I drove in last time out in Finland.
right 1,
And I was definitely in the middle of a dogfight with one of the Persias, if you can believe it.
right 3, and left 4,
And I somehow gained even more time, as I am now
right 3,
5 seconds up the road ahead of Carlos. Although I don't think that's going to last much longer.
3,
But either way, I'm running good so far, and it's fair to say that my car is clearly hooked up to the road the way it should be.
100 right 3,
I'm driving very well at the moment because I have a big gap out front, and now I have a 6-second gap in front of Carlos, which means that should give me enough of a cushion
50 right 1,
to take the lead in the rally for the first time,
50 left
if I recall correctly,
2, 50 long right 2,
because right now
into long left 2,
I'm doing pretty well, and things are definitely looking up, the way I see it. I'm now 12 seconds up the road.
100 long left 4,
I think it's fair to say my Hyundai is definitely bad fast at this stage,
4,
because of just how far ahead I am compared to the AI.
250,
Things are
very long
definitely
right 4,
working out for me better than I personally thought they were going to at this stage. I thought I could maybe win the stage, but not by this much. And there we go. 15 seconds in the end. Holy shit. I did not think I was going to be that fast. But there we are. A 15.2 second margin of victory, and that almost certainly guarantees me the rally win, is what me thinks. But there we go. Another stage is won, and boy, let me tell you, that stage was domination. It basically had domination written all over it. So, we move on. So, a 15.2 second margin of victory in the end over Carlos. My teammate, Kenneth Eriksson, came home third in the second Hyundai. Then we had Colin fourth, Didier 5th, and Marcus coming home in 6th. There is P7 to 12, P13 to P18, with Francois dropping down in stage 4, and there is the bottom 3, with my other teammate Piero Liatti leading off the 2 Subarus of Toshihiro and Marco. So these are now the updated rally standings. Got a 12.77 second lead now over Carlos as I take the lead in New Zealand for the first time. Oh yeah, I should probably save the replay now that I think about it, since I have not done that yet. It's also because, well, that stage felt really good. I better not forget. But there we go. So, saving the replay because I can. And now, we move on. Back to... yeah, okay. So, those are your standings for New Zealand after 4 stages. There is P7 to P12, P13 to P18, and as ever, we have the bottom 3, with Gilles Panizzi once again being at the bottom. Sucks to suck, I guess. And now we are at Paparoa Station, and this is 10 kilometers. This is definitely the longest stage I've done in this game so far. Anyway, let's get on with stage 5, the final stage of normal Rally New Zealand. And having another sip of water before my voice dies again. This stage is going to be a really long one. And I also have a feeling this is going to be what seals me the win as well, if I can stay on track long enough. But I am glad to say that previous stage worked out as well as it did. And oh boy, it's another wet stage. So either I'm going to look like a genius, or I'm going to look like an idiot. I have no idea why I keep suddenly wanting to shift up into second off the launch. I don't know what my instincts are telling me, but I'm pretty sure they are the wrong instincts. But either way, I did have almost a 13-second lead heading into the stage. So, providing nothing goes catastrophically wrong here, I'm convinced in saying this is going to be a pretty easy win, from what I can see. Because I'm not going to lose out by much if I do lose the stage. And I already have a 7.5 second lead over Carlos. I also got to say, I am glad to see my teammate Kenneth running well in this rally, because he's running inside the top 4, which is definitely better than I could have anticipated. And I go straight into a tree. Fortunately, however, it does no damage to the car, and it looks like everything is normal. Yeah, basically, I just went over a bank, and then, as I went over that bank, I then basically ploughed straight into the tree. Fortunately, however, it did not do enough to damage the car, so I think we're doing okay. And now I have lost significant time as a result of running into the tree. But in all honesty, that's kind of what I was expecting. But either way, it doesn't really matter because, well, I did have a pretty big lead heading into the final stage anyway, so I can honestly afford a mistake or two, as long as I don't lose too much time in the end. But this is definitely the longest stage I've done in this game so far, because this stage is 10 kilometers long, and I've mainly been doing short stages up to this stage, and Now, just like that, I gain even more time. So, it looks like we're doing okay at this stage. And... oh shit. Okay. I did not get caught out by the bush, thankfully. And now I have damage. I have damaged the drivetrain. Hopefully that's not going to do too much to dent my chances of winning. I kind of knew with this being a long stage something like that was going to happen, but I don't think it'll be enough to stop me from winning because, well, I think I should be okay. Right, okay, 3.8 seconds. I don't think that's going to be enough for me to lose. I did have a pretty big lead heading into the final stage anyway, so I think we should be alright, but I don't know for sure. And my breath is slowly but surely withering away again. Okay, come on, please hold on, please hold on, please hold on. Okay, just a little bit further, and then I think we should be there. Okay, can I make it? Huh. I gained a heap of time in that final sector. I did not think I was going to be 3 seconds up, in spite of that damage I sustained. But there we go. I came back to finish P2 regardless. Because I'm going to assume my setup must have helped me pull through, in spite of the damage I had in the transaxle. Oh well. Doesn't matter because I still win. And now we have unlocked Rally Italy, also known as the San Remo Rally. So now I must save the game, and then we can have a look at the updated point standings. So, gonna save the game, because I can. Next up, we have Italy. Had to mute the microphone there because I was having a sip of water. Okay, so P2 in the stage overall. My teammate Kenneth Eriksson came home 3rd, then we had Colin McRae 4th, Didier in 5th, and Marcus finishing P6. Then we got the 2 Subarus, followed by 2 Mitsubishis, the 3rd Peugeot and the 3rd Hyundai. Then we got 2 Citroens with 1 Skoda, 1 Peugeot, 1 Ford and 1 Subaru. Then the 4th Subaru, followed by the 3rd Citroen and the 2nd Skoda. So 12.2 seconds, the margin of victory in the end over Carlos. Colin McRae came home 3rd. My teammate Kenneth Eriksson achieved a season best 4th. Didier came home 5th, and it was Marcus Gronholm who finished in P6. So more or less 2x2 in terms of the point scorers. Then Tommy Mäkinen was just outside the points, along with Richard Burns, Petter Solberg and Freddie Loix completing the top 10. Armin Schwartz P11 and Francois Delacour P12. Then we got P13 to P18, and as ever we have the bottom 3. Yeah, Rally New Zealand winners baby. Or should I say Propecia Rally New Zealand winners baby. as I now have 100 points. I'm now into triple digit figures. Carlos now extends his advantage in second. Tommy is still third. Richard is still fourth. Colin now holds on to 5th position with 17 points. Didier is on 6. Didier is on 13. Marcus now moves up to 10 points. And Kenneth Eriksson now moves up to P9 with 3 points on the table. Francois 10th, Harry Rovanpera 11th, and Armin Schwartz in P12. And then we have the bottom 3 point scorers. And in the constructors, well, no real changes for position. Everything more or less seems to be normal from this stage. But anyway, let's now move on to Italy for round 11. Next up, San Remo.